Hey guys, this is my review for Vikings: The Battle for Asgard. So in this game you play as some random dude who's basically trying to win the battle, and you're trying to fight off some like deity queen chick person. I wasn't really that interested in her story. I think you're like being led by Freya, who was like one of the Viking gods or something. But yeah, basically you're just trying to defeat all of the Hellspawn or whatever they're called. I think they're like Legion or Hellspawn. It's one of them. And basically you just have to try and kill them, and then free soldiers to join your army, and then you like do bigger battles and you get dragons and stuff like that. And basically you just keep going through these different islands battling. So there's three different islands, and they're all roughly about the same size. They all have like exactly the same missions in them. So it's not like they have a whole lot of variety. They just change the way the map looks, and then pretty much you just do the exact same thing 3 times in a row, and then finish the game. Difficulty-wise, this game's not difficult at all. It's one of those games where like when you think you've found something that's difficult, they just make you press like a certain amount of buttons in a row, because basically this game is made for Xbox or PlayStation. I don't think it's actually made for computer. It's definitely a port game. You notice it the moment you download it. Like, the first thing you have to do is you have to configure your game from outside of the game. You have to load like a separate program to actually make the game work on a keyboard and with a mouse, which is the most ridiculous thing like you'd think of when you're buying a computer game, is that it doesn't actually work on like the parts that a computer is meant to actually have for a game. So basically, they don't even really label the controls when you're choosing what they are. They just have like a picture of an Xbox controller, and then they just like you click on the button that would be on an Xbox controller, like the R2 buttons or whatever they're meant to be. And then they go, now what button would you like it to be on, either your mouse or your keyboard? It's just like, well, I have no idea what any of these buttons do because I don't play on the Xbox. Like, I've played it before, but I don't know off by heart what the standard is for this console. So when they like put it onto computer, it's kind of stupid that they don't put enough effort in to actually make the controls work. I think the other problem is that they've perma capped this game at 30 frames per second, which is ridiculous when you're playing it on computer. It just gives you like this permanent laggy feel to the game. Because obviously, when you're playing a console game on your TV, you sit quite far back, so 30 frames per second doesn't really bother you. But when you're playing on a computer, you're used to like 60 frames per second because you're quite close to the screen, and like your reaction time is a lot quicker, so you need the screen to move faster so that it's like feels normal for you. But when you play this game, it's just kind of like this laggy feeling, so you're kind of clicking and pressing buttons way faster than you actually have to. I think the other problem is that they haven't really made this game like graphics wise very good for this computer. I read a whole lot of other people's reviews because I thought that I might have been just like my computer might have just been crapping out on me or something, which was why I was getting like ridiculous lag during big battle scenes. But nope, I read the reviews and apparently heaps of people were having to play it at like 640 resolution rather than not 1920, which is what I played at. So they were playing it at like the smallest screen size, like even smaller than like your. It's probably like the same size as like a cell phone was the resolution that they were having to play it at, just so that they could play a big battle without lag. Because obviously, the company that made this game was just like put all the effort into making it for Xbox, and they've done very standard Xbox style for this game. Yeah, it's very noticeable. And then when they went to computer, they were like, let's just make it able to be opened on computer. Who cares about if they actually have to play it? Let's just make them able to open it, and then they can whine about it. Because this game's been out for a while. It's not a new game. You'd think that they'd at least have put out an update or something to fix all the issues with the game, but nope. I think there's like a couple thousand reviews on on Steam about this game and about the immense lag and people just saying don't buy this for a computer. And pretty much the game company obviously just didn't give a crap about what people had to say. They were just like, meh, we're getting our money, who really cares that much? So it's kind of disappointing about that. But in terms of gameplay, I think the first island you're on is quite enjoyable. You get like different scenes when you're attacking people. You kind of work out the buttons, work out the game. Then you go to the second island and you do the exact same things over and over. So you've got to go to a building, you talk to some random person, you like release some troops from the building, and then you talk to them, and then they go, "Can you go get blah 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 for me?" Or go to some tower and kill some ambush or something, and then we'll join you. And you just keep on doing the exact same sort of mission style. And then it's got the whole console thing. I know I used to play PlayStation a lot, so I know that this is quite common in console games, which is where when you're versing like a really tough person, they just make you press certain buttons in a certain order, and then that's how you kill them rather than having to actually like dodge and attack sort of thing. Which I personally I don't like it. Well, I don't like it on computer because it's just annoying when you've got so many buttons, but on Xbox or PlayStation controllers, generally it's just like only a couple buttons, so you can kind of do it quite easily. But on this, when you've kind of got to move your entire hand across the keyboard trying to press whatever button's showing up, it's kind of disappointing. But I think even in saying that, even if you are going to do this, they did the standard style, which is where you just have a preset one. So every time you kill a giant, you can basically you just press it in the same order every time. So the moment the button comes up, I'm already pressing the order that it's in. Whereas you play something like Resident Evil, which I think does it like a lot better. Even though they do obviously do it for computer and they actually make the games properly, unlike whoever made this, who just put like no effort in. But in their games, I'm pretty sure that they have different button pressings when you're doing like boss fight sort of things, which makes it a lot harder because you can't just memorize it and then just do it really easily. Other problems with this game is that your character develops, so he gets more skills and stuff, but the enemies don't. They're always just the same boring people who don't really react to you or learn how to counter you or anything like that. They just chuck in a different like soldier who can be pretty much killed really simply. Other problems, I probably don't actually like the skills. They do the whole press certain buttons in a certain order to do a combo, and then you can't break the combo. A couple of times I've died because my character got stuck in a combo and then had switched targets mid-combo because there's no targeting in this game. It's basically whoever you're kind of looking at, he'll attack. Sometimes he doesn't attack them at all. He'll like completely miss even though they're standing right in front of him. So I don't really like that. Obviously your character's made to be positioned using analog sticks, which has a better positioning in this type of game. When you're playing with a mouse and keyboard, he basically turns in like 30-degree angles rather than like being able to correctly position him with an Xbox controller or PlayStation controller. So definitely, if you were to play this game, I'd say make sure you're using a controller and not a keyboard and mouse because it's not made for it at all. And probably don't even bother playing it on computer because the lag is just crazy, especially for such an old game. I'm not sure what it is in this game that causes it because they don't even have much graphics options. I think the only thing they really let you change is the resolution you're playing at, and then they have like a high, medium, and low setting for the game. So even the auto detect on this said that I could run it really high, and I couldn't. Pretty much the moment I started playing the game at the recommended settings, it just crapped out pretty much. Just barely wanted to run, so much lag. But this game is super repetitive. Pretty much you play the first island and then you've experienced the entire game. The story is pretty sucky. I think they give you a cutscene at the start, and then you sort of try to do the rest of the game, and they show you like this random scene where it's like a flashback of the future or whatever, and it's meant to be showing what's going to happen, and then just keep on playing it like every single main mission thing they play the exact same sort of scene. Even when they do, you have this mission where you have to go to a cave and you chuck herbs into like a fire so that you can reveal the truth and understand your vision. And pretty much it shows you the exact same like 15-second vision that it's been showing you the entire game. There's no new thing to it. So the story kind of sucks, but I mean, it's not the worst game I've ever played. It's probably up there though. I think playing the final battle on this game and the final boss fight, it was just so boring because they just constantly repeat the same stuff. They just increase something. Like, I think in the second world you kind of have to kill 2 shamans or something, and then in the last world you have to kill 3 shamans in a battle. So it's not like the superly changing the game to make it more interesting for players. They're just taking the exact same content, the exact same looking people, chucking it into a map and then going, okay, they can play that. So I think they definitely should have tried a lot harder, but I don't know. I guess it's up to them. It's an Xbox console game, so I think it's pretty standard for what they make for that device. I'm not sure if there's a game really similar to this that I've played before. Probably not with the large scale, like, battle things. I'd probably have to say maybe Lord of the Rings Return of the King on PlayStation 2 is probably slightly similar to this, but then I've played that on computer as well, and it wasn't that bad compared to this one. I'd definitely say play that rather than this. Even though it's an older game, but it's still way more fun than this game was. I think this is technically number 2 in a trilogy. I think I saw online that someone was saying that there was another Vikings game, but it wasn't for Asgard, it was for some other random thing. So I'm not sure if this is like an Xbox trilogy, and then they just chucked the middle one, because I think they said it was number 2, and then they just chucked this onto computer, as in like a way to try and earn more money. But yeah, apart from that, there are a few bugs in the game, particularly when you're holding onto cliff sides, trying to walk across. If you try and walk back, they tend not to let you actually walk off. Yeah. If I had to rate this game, I'd only give it a 4 or a 3, probably. Yeah, I'd say 4, because I was actually bothered to finish the entire game. Did I enjoy the last 2 islands? Not really. I think the first island you play for like an hour and a half, which I thought was really fun, and I thought the game was amazing. And then I did the second island, and pretty much just hated it from there. And the story's weak, graphics suck, it runs really bad on computer. Don't know. I seriously was angry just playing this on computer with the amount of lag that it just gives off. I mean, you're able to play it, but it just gets annoying after a while. You don't really get lag just roaming around the map doing the little missions. It's mostly just the big major missions where they've got like 500 people versus 500 people and just explosions and stuff happening everywhere in the world. But it's just my opinion of the game. If you don't agree with it or you do agree with it, drop a U for the game in the comments below this video. Otherwise, I'm only going to give it a 4 out of 10. Okay guys, see ya.